Hello and welcome to another episode of Reviews on the Couch, where we discuss movies, how they made us feel, and lessons we can pick from them. My name is Elsie Godwin. If this is your first time of visiting my YouTube channel, please subscribe by clicking the red button below, and also hit the bell button so you get notified each time there is a new content. Thank you. On this episode, we're discussing a 2021 American comedy drama film titled Fatherhood. The movie is based on the 2011 memoir of loss and love by Matthew Logelin titled Two Kisses for Maddy. It is currently showing on Netflix. If you have not seen it, I encourage that you go see it. Joining me on this episode of Reviews on the Couch is John Asuquo. John Asuquo is an advertising and entertainment executive. He's a creative director, character and concept artist, 2D, 3D animator, and of course, a movie buff. Also joining this episode is Ibiere, Black-Briggs, Isabella, a model and a psychologist. They will both be joining me right after this break. Thank you guys for joining me on Reviews on the Couch. I appreciate your time and effort. So we're discussing fatherhood, and before we get into the lessons, which is basically my most favorite part of the show, I would like us to talk about the movie from a movie reviewer angle, and I think Isabella can help us with that. What do you think about it in terms of their scripting, their storytelling, and acting and otherwise? What do you just think about the movie? How did it make you feel when you watched it?
Well, to be honest, the movie wasn't bad, and I never knew Kevin Hart could be that serious. And then seeing Kevin Hart being Kevin Hart and doing that was like, okay, seeing a different version of his acting. And to be honest, the script was not bad at all. I think a lot of people need to watch that and see what many people go through, especially when they begin to judge children and judge people, not just fathers. Nobody, there's no template to a child. You understand? And he tried to do it his own way, and it was making sense. At least the girl was good, and I think that was what was important. He raised a child that actually had sense.
Kevin Hart has always been a great actor, so I wasn't surprised to see, oh, it's a great movie. Seriously, it was a great movie. I'll rate it well.
And it was.
Even before I saw it, it would be doing a 50 of 100 before I even saw it, because it's Kevin Hart, okay? And I know he's disciplined when it comes to acting, production, scripting, and all that, and even delivery, which I think he did fantastically well. Conversation in movies means a lot for me, because I think that's where a writer shows that they're a bit above the average, okay? It had that. It had the conversation. It had all the right words, situation, and all that. But
Yeah,
in
sorry,
that
point where
and
they say.
the reality of things, I think they lost it. When let's say 20 minutes into the movie, I couldn't wrap myself into the movie and be a part of it. I still felt like I was being told a movie, or I was trying to see a movie. I like movies that absorb you. Like you feel like you're
Yeah.
right, and everything is happening with you, and it didn't really do that for me initially. But then when I said, okay, don't be judgmental, just enjoy the movie, I cracked up. Okay, I love the part of the fact that he bought boy pants for his daughter. I think that was so cool. And the fact that she was wearing trousers to school is a typical single father mindset. For me, I saw that part of the movie as something that is personal to him. He wanted her to look in a certain way or dressed in a certain way which was comfortable with him, and she thought it was comfortable too, but obviously it was wrong. He should have corrected her. But then somewhere around there, I think that's where they lost me.
Especially when the school said he needed to follow the uniform, they wear skirts, and she kept wearing trousers. Don't get me wrong. I noticed something, and that is the thing. Like we all try to. I think we're pushing everything these days. We want everything to be accepted, everything to be okay. That was a deviant character, expecting your daughter to actually look different from the rest. But don't get me wrong, they were trying to pass a message. This message that they try to pass these days of everybody must be who they are. Who they are is still different. So the other children could not have been who they are. Is that what you're telling me? But they're just rules and regulations. And so you're just saying that, treat people the way they want. Okay, she has this tomboy. And really, I understand, because I grew up being a very, very strong tomboy, climbing trees and everything, wearing trousers. I don't like wearing skirts because I felt, my legs were sporty. It will not be fine. It will not be good enough. So I was that sort of person. It was my personal conviction. But my mom was always correcting me. She'll be like, okay, sit like a lady, close your legs, do this, do that, do that. And the truth is, as of now, I'm thankful for it. It doesn't necessarily portray any other thing. It just portrays a girl that, like, we call it the tomboy thing, but not in the other way. The whole I know you get what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, for me, he's very right. You can't categorically just say it's fine, let her flaunt the rules that your daughter is different after all because you're a single father. That didn't make sense. But that's what they're trying to push. That's what people try to push, that everything must be accepted. And the day we
Like,
accept everything, we'll
No.
all be in trouble.
what I
We
feel.
might,
It's a
we are,
real
we are
that's just
already
it.
getting into trouble. It's not that we'll be in trouble. We're already getting into trouble. But
Exactly.
anyway, let's start from John, right? John, from your experience with people around you and you having to also act as a father figure to children because you love them, what would you say is that peculiar challenge that single fathers face with that we do not pay attention to?
I think it's that thing of children raising children. I see cases whereby people are. I mean, I'm not talking about their age right now, but they are immature when it comes to raising children. And it's a big problem if you ask me, because I have had cases whereby I'm with a friend and her child or his child, and I don't feel comfortable leaving that space because I don't even trust their own judgment in taking care of their own child. You get. Now, for me, I think our society in general, we like the idea of having kids and all that. But even when people get married, and like in the movie where you saw, after he lost his wife, her mom tried, stepping in. She was suggesting to stay with him for like 6 months and help with raising the child. I thought that was a very, very, mother-like thing to do. And if it was me, I'd have jumped on it straight up. I'd have just say, yes, please spend 6 months with me, even spend a year with me, and then I'd have tried to get myself, get my life back together, especially because, losing a loved one is a big deal. You don't just recover from that like overnight, Like in his own case, I know the movie was kind of, rushed because from the time where, the child was born, he lost his wife, and then he moved on, to the what's it called? The parents, the single mothers group and all that. I felt, yeah, they rushed in the script, but in a real life scenario, it will have been really, really demanding. It will have been very demanding on anybody, even on first time mothers. It's so demanding, having to wake up every night, 3 a.m., feed your child like every 4 hours, So when he was saying he's going to do this, I liked it. I liked all the bravado and all that, but I felt it wasn't really realistic, because in my own experience, sometimes it's really, you're scared, you're trying to bring up a baby. They are so delicate and all that. Well, he did that in the movie, and he did it in a great way. And that's something which, I really commend, but I felt that was a bit unrealistic.
But I think
Yeah, I get
I
what you're
think
saying.
that's what they were trying to actually hit on for someone that had never
Thank
done it.
you. What if he did not have a
Okay.
family, right?
Can you
Yes.
repeat
And for
that?
example, he's an orphan himself, and then he finds
He
himself in
needed to
that
find
situation.
himself.
Won't he take care of his child? So if it's a woman, we won't be having this conversation because we already have this idea that a woman is born to nurture. She will take care. She will find a way. Regardless of being a man or a woman, I think we need people around us to help us go through this, especially when it's the
True.
True.
first time. But the fact that
But
he's a guy does not mean that he has to jump on the first opportunity to bail because he thinks he has to get his life back together.
the flip side to what you said was closure, right? He was grieving, and sometimes there are people who grieve and don't like crowd. Let me just tell you the truth, ma'am. They're in pain and they don't like crowd. So the child that was given birth to by his wife is the only thing he had remaining of, and he needed that closure. So the mother telling him she wanted to do, it's easy to jump on it, but not when you see the mother's attitude, the mother of the girl. The mother of the girl is not mentally okay. She lost a child. And he isn't, no, it's true. She wasn't at first. And he himself is just trying to strike a balance with himself. But he will not deal with her shit. That is what he was saying. He wasn't going to deal with her shit at the same time while trying to find closure in his situation and his pain with his daughter. So if that was going to be the case, he'd rather she goes because he felt she was unbearable. And he needed that closure with the girl. He just wanted to be with himself.
Truly.
So I think
Mm.
I understand where he was coming from not accepting the help. I understand it
Yeah.
very well.
Let's
Yeah.
go down to dating. I've had conversations where I interviewed single mothers and they basically said, oh, they try not to introduce who they are dating to their children until they are very sure. And sometimes you think you are
Hmm.
very sure, and when they see the child or your children, the game changes and they realize, oh, I thought I could handle it, I can't handle it. So what
Say that
would you
say that to Jennifer Lopez.
so what would your advice be, or what have you seen in that space when it comes to dating and single parenting?
So when I saw that in the movie, I could just say, okay, fine. Everybody has been here at some point or some way, if
Mhm.
you're not a parent, that is. But then the thing which I really wanted to take out of that dating scene in the movie was this. At a point he pushed her away, and it was not her fault. Nothing was her fault actually, but he felt he couldn't give both of them attention. But then these are just relationship dynamics that happen with people. It's a learning process for everybody, I guess, the first time, especially if you want to make it work. You don't want to bring a person into your family, especially when you know you've developed relationships with your kids, and your kids are probably the intelligent one. I think it's important you introduce your partner or your lover to your kids the right way. Now, maybe not the typical way they did it over there in the movie, which I think was fantastic. It's important to understand that you will have a relationship with your lover and their child, and you should be able to see it from two different perspectives. You can't take sides.
Mm.
You can't come in between. You don't even want to come in between. You just want to be there for them as family. When I meet kids, I introduce myself to them. You remember the scene where the babysitter came? I was like, I'm going to carry you now and all that. I was laughing because it's something I do too. If I want to carry a kid, I ask, can I carry you? It should be like that. So yes, you should do proper introductions if you're dating and if you are a single parent. One scenario I'd like to give before I stop is so I have a friend, and he starts seeing somebody else, and he still has a healthy relationship with his baby mama. They talk, and of course the kid, but then the thing there was that for him, he didn't know how to to bring, to close that gap, or to reconcile this relationship. So he felt whenever he's with his kids or with his baby mama, he can't talk to his girlfriend, and whenever he's with his girlfriend, he can't talk to his kids. But I think that's completely wrong. you know, if you're going to have such a relationship, like you're going to bring someone into your life, you should understand that it's your life and your kids' life, because you guys share this life together. It's no longer just yours. Anyway, we live for each other. So I think it makes a lot of sense, no matter how immature you think a child is or young, do the introduction. Do the introduction, let them meet on maybe like over a date, ice cream, family hangout, all that. It's important. Don't just start dating someone without letting them know, because then you're probably trying to hide this one from this one and keep this one apart. It won't work. You break.
Sorry. The only thing I know I will agree with is when you tell the person you have a child, let the person know you have a child. Fine. But I don't think you should be quick to go and introduce that person to your child, because some people are not normal. Some people, the street is filled with mad people coming from, and you don't even know the person you're dealing with. And then you just start dating them, and then you take your them to your children. Big mistake. You should just be sure it's somebody you're going to be serious with. Let them know you have kids first before you now introduce them to your children. Because another thing is, whether they bond with the children or not will be between them and the children on the long run. From their first initial, I believe the way your spirit will perceive the person, the way you like the person, your children are a product of you. So if the person is really who they are, your children are bound to accept them. Yes, initially there is okay, I don't want to be with this person, this is not my mother, but at the end of the day, there's some children that are not that, they don't take it that deep. They're even looking for an addition to the family, just like the girl was looking for. But she, at the same time, she was used to her father's company so much. Sometimes people try to keep this thing away from people so that along the way you now let them know. That is the only thing I think you need to do first, till you're sure that this is the person you want to be with. You don't just bring different people into your children's lives, which is why I'm angry. Well, I'm not angry. It's not up to me. But this is my problem with Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez doesn't consider her children's mental health. I'm telling you, She's not. You can't just do what you want. You're a mother. Those children between the age of when they were born and 10 years old, they've had almost how many men in their lives, and they don't even know which way to go. They've actually seen it as we'll be all right eventually.
Isabella. Oh yeah, leave Jennifer Lopez. Now that we're having this conversation, yeah,
I'm going to love her so much.
I think that this movie was rushed, like John has said. I think it's supposed to be at least a limited series, because there are different parts of it that could have been expanded on. Like, how did he get through the infancy of that child when he went to the mother's gathering, what's it called now? The meeting where mothers came around to talk about their issues. That could have been an episode on its own to expand on that issue and how they treated it. Moving on to also understanding the differences between raising a boy and a girl, and the acceptance beat for school should be another episode on its own. So I think maybe they didn't really think about it, but it should have been, since we're not going to the cinemas anyway, it should have been a limited series on Netflix and just.
And John was equally right when he said at some point he logged out of the movie. I think in a bit to rush it, they missed out on the content, because I did. I slept off. They came back and remembered that it was for this. So I took it back and I rewinded. I took it back and started again. This is true, because I was losing the perspective. I was losing there's this thing where a person is singing and then they drag the crowd in. They weren't pulling me at all. So, and that was because they were rushing. So you're right. But the lessons are there, but they were rushing it. So you are very right.
On a final note, or maybe almost a final note, if we're going to talk about community and how we can be of help to single parents, whether it's a man or a woman, what would you advise?
First thing we need to do, especially as a society, is we need to stop judging. We need to stop this idea of stereotyping people. People became single moms or single dads for different reasons. For example, this one now, they were married and the wife died. But many people see single mom or children from single parents and start, either the first idea we have is, Olosho, this person did this kind of thing. That's why they had a child out of wedlock, or this happened, and it might not even have been the case. So if we can first stop looking at them as, they are a weird part of the society, because that's the first thing. They segregated. The idea is that the only form of parenting should be a father and a mother. It is true. But life has given some people unfortunate circumstances. Everything is not because they did something wrong. And even if they did something wrong, the fact that they let the child leave and they are training the child is something you should clap for them for.
Right.
So that's something right. The first thing that is important is letting the child even come to this world. People don't. There are people who don't care. But these people do, and then you still judge them. So that is the first thing the society must stop doing. And next, another way to assist them or help them is, we don't need to make children from single parents, we don't need to make them feel like you're actually from a single home. Yeah, let me say the way people do it. You just, for example now, at the point in that movie where the mother was kissing her daughter, and then it's not like it didn't state that the mother was married, don't get me wrong, but that the girl needed a mom and everything. You could see that the little girl was envious of them. It's obvious, it's because that's a family, right? That's why she was envious, and she didn't have a family, and she wanted in her mind a complete family. We need to start sensitizing that your family is complete, even if it's one parent you have, even if you don't have the two, even if your parents don't have it figured out, it's complete. I understand it's a normal feeling. And how can you help children is when you see them, show them love, make them feel among. What I was trying to say about her kissing one child and not kissing the other child, at least one kiss from her to the girl would have made that girl not think about that thing so much. So you need to make them feel at home, feel like as if, we're all the same. There's nothing there. It's no big deal. And then they don't feel that vacuum. You're feeling it as a person. If the society can feel the vacuum, children won't feel like they need somebody to complete them. That's why some of them grow up feeling, I need a father figure, a mother figure in my life. And so you see a guy, somebody is hurting them, but because they feel they need that father figure in a relationship, they just keep staying there and they keep absorbing, and you don't need to be there. You don't need that. It's beyond that. But it's because they've been devoid. The vacuum is there and they're looking for someone to fill it. Look at Kevin Hart was always giving her two kisses, like one for me and one for mom. But just one that is why she could respond to the girlfriend quickly, because you can see, and that is one part of the movie I liked. That girl made her feel so at home with her, like feel so comfortable, like was so down to earth. Like, and the girl just felt like, oh, I like you, you're my friend. So they don't need the parents, they need friendship, good friendship from adults, make them feel at home, and that's all they need. Make them feel loved, and love heals everything. To be honest, you said something at the beginning that he said he was trying to correct his mistakes because he was not from, which is another thing that is true. People assume that a person from a broken home or from a single parent might not be able to keep a relationship very well, and that is wrong.
Talking about that before we came on.
Thank you. Most times, the truth is they actually do not want to even repeat it, so they actually find balance. Now, the truth is, the only problem is it coming from a good place or from a place of inferiority complex? Now, if it's coming from a good place, they strike it well. If it's coming from the wrong place, they find themselves with wrong people and think they should still hold on to it because they do not want it to happen to them, what happened to their parents. And the truth is, it's because they never understood that it's not really their fault that vacuum was not filled. It's okay. If it happens that you were dating someone and it did not work, we'll be all right.
We'll be all right.
People need to, yes, we'll be all right. People need to allow them leave. Just be all right. Be fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Isabella,
yes.
I have a feeling that I'm going to get a very interesting response from you. But do you think we have a lot of women who have the capacity to be the kind of woman Kevin Hart's girlfriend was in that movie?
My dear, even myself, it's not only you, it's the grace of God. Don't mind me. But to be honest, don't mind me, I'm just joking. I think it comes from a place of you having this, okay, maybe I might be, forgive me for deviating or make sounding very funny, but there's this thing, your Bible will tell you, let brotherly love continue. And if you have that love for everything and everyone in your heart, because me, I love a dog. And if I can take care of a dog and love a dog, I cannot take care of someone's child. But now the thing is, there are lots of there are different pointers to this situation now. Kevin Hart's girlfriend was more like she was down to earth. She's like a nigger. She understands how it goes. Like me now, I will tell people that if you're dating and you cannot call your girlfriend or your boyfriend my guy, like your girlfriend saying that my guy be that, your friend, that friendship, you don't have anything so close, because it has to be where you can flow you can flow on that, capacity, not just on the capacity of a guy to a girl, but a guy to a guy or a girl to a girl, and then you understand each other. So now this was her flowing to the girl's understanding, right? And when you can put yourself that, okay, this girl has been raised by a man all her life, she's like, okay, this girl will understand it this way. So she quickly puts herself in that shoe. But now what I'm going to is this: if you can love someone, a child that is not your own, because we have this, a lot of people have this sordid mentality that is only not, let me not go to, okay, is why in Nigeria not only picking when you born. No, yes, now that's the only child that deserves your love. You're laughing, I mean, it's the truth. I'm telling you the fact that because when you born, now be your own, now they okay. No, it's not that. Because children, a lot of children, that's why you see a lot of parents crying, oh, I waited, forgive me, I used to say this thing, I waited 30 years and God answered me. It's good. God is a miracle worker, and I love that. But waiting make you not go adult speaking another person's child. There are lots of homeless children there. And I have an issue with that. Or else God tell you don't adopt, to say you pray and God say, okay, no, wait, it's your time, because there's the testing time. That one is fine, I understand. But some people, maybe the idea is for you to, because I've seen situations where you adopt children, people even take care of other people's children, and then children come into their home, they start having their own kids. It's like a blessing. If you can give love to, that's why Jesus, the Bible will tell you, suffer what? Not the little children. You get for them. So if you can show them love, whatsoever you do to those ones, you can do to other people. So if you can love any child at all, I don't see why you cannot love a man that has a child, because automatically the child is your own, because your brain is like, this is like any other person I will love, and I love everybody. But you see, the problem is too much toxicity is the problem. We're devoid of that level of love now. The only level of love is na my own and your own. We're fine. We must be together. It's that's the kind of love we prefer, and it's a problem. You need to understand that
it's not love.
It's a problem. It's not
It's
love.
not
It's
love.
not love. Yes, thank you. It's not even love. It's not even love. That's not what love is. It's
True.
selfish. It's selfish, and many people are selfish. So
That's
not
the
being
point.
able to accept a man that has a child should not be for the reason that he has a child. Are you getting me? It should be that maybe, just maybe, you guys, there is one thing between you people who have an issue, or maybe even self, maybe the child did not accept you and everything. Because I've seen there are some chucky children in this life. You go there and you'll be the nicest person, you'll be the loveliest person, and they will still make sure they undermine you before their parents because they just don't want you there. There are some chucky children. When you see that situation, and the man is saying that if it's a man that understands, that makes sense, that can caution his child that, oh, don't get this wrong. Me and you have been together, respect. You get my point. Then it's a relationship. It can work like that. It doesn't mean let's
It doesn't have
be
to be
coming
perfect.
down. It doesn't have to be perfect. But no, some people just believe, immediately just hear, oh, she's a single mom. That's why somebody will open their mouth and say, you don't born. This one don't born. I said that's a handle. They say it. Yes, they say it. That's
the
okay.
problem with society. That's the
As
problem with
if they
our
are,
society.
yes, as if the person they are dating is a virgin. Shema, my friend, was just
Even the person they
has
married.
probably aborted 150 times, but it's fine. If I'm telling you the truth now, I'm telling you, I'm realistic.
Okay,
They're
so
okay with that one because they didn't bring the child to the world.
okay,
What I'm just saying is that you shouldn't throw stones when you're not without sin. We need to understand that it's okay to date anybody. If the person is a wonderful person, or if your spirit goes with that person, you love the person, or if you pray so much and that is where your journey is meant to be, then you will fulfill it. You don't have a choice.
let me say,
But
you said a lot of interesting stuff. I like to add some things, okay? So we
sure,
don't go
sure,
too far.
please.
It's
Yeah.
really okay to date anybody, single, married. Sorry, single.
No.
That was a mistake. My point is this, okay? So you meet a person. It's the person you're trying to get to know. And then if this person has a child, a single mother or a single dad, for me, I see it as a blessing. It should be, there's something more to this person. If you really value people, if you really value relationship, if you really value people and relationship, then you will know it's not an issue if you date someone who's a single parent. It's really nothing. I've dated single parents. I have them as friends. I have them in my family. So why should I judge? I see it as a normal thing. But yes, I know society always have this standard, this unrealistic standard. And don't get me wrong, if you can live by those standards, thumbs up. But if you're judging yourself because you can't really live by some standards some group of people created, not because they even have your best interest, but because they felt it gives them some, I don't know, some bougie kind of thing. I don't know. Really, yes. Because for me, if society is doing the right thing, then it shouldn't be an issue if a person is a single parent. It should not be an issue. And I think maybe our society will get there someday. Because for me, I don't judge. I don't draw a line and say, oh, single parent or not. They've been my friends. They're still my friends, family, and all that. So society really needs to accept these people and understand that life happens to people. Life happens. You can't just judge a book by its cover. I mean, we say that all the time, but when it comes to single parenting, do we really see it that way? Especially mother-in-law. If you're going to introduce a girl to your mother and your mother finds out that she has had a child for somebody else or she's been in a marriage before, oh my God, the roof goes off. That is such terrible judgmental way of living. I don't get it. I really don't.
If you're going to rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 10, what would it be for you, Isabel, and why?
Let me see. I'll divide everything and then add it up together. We'll sum it up. So with respect to the lessons and everything, I'll rate it a 7. And with respect to how interesting it was, I'll rate it a 5. With respect to how realistic it is, I'll rate it a 7. So all in all, I think I'll rate the movie a 7. A 7 is fine because the movie is actually it's realistic in a way. There are a lot of things that it's how it goes, and the acting was okay. It was really good. So yeah, I'll rate it a 7.
Okay, well, I think I said that earlier on. I'd give it a 7.5. It touches things that happen in our real life scenario. That's why I gave it a 7.5. But other than that, it's comedy anyway. So yeah, it's a good movie for the family on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, 7.5.
Thank you for watching. My name is Elsie Godwin. You can always recommend movies for us to review. Just send me a DM. I think I prefer a DM. Go to my Instagram or Twitter at Elsieisy and send me a DM. Recommend a movie and tell us why you want us to talk about it or what lessons you think we need to amplify from the movie you are recommending. If this is your first time of visiting this YouTube channel, kindly subscribe by clicking the red button below and also hit the bell button so you get notified each time there is a new content. Also, please don't forget to see Fatherhood because I think it's an amazing content that we all should consume in order to be able to reshape our mindset, to learn and unlearn some things and maybe relearn as well, so we can begin to treat each other better. Till another upload on this YouTube channel, my name remains Elsie Godwin. Do take care.